Hi there, everyone. Today we're talking about staying in your lane. Stay in your lane is a comment that is said more and more these days, and they're not referring to you staying in the car lane you're driving in on the roadway. They're talking about you staying in your field of expertise or your at a level of your understanding, basically. Now, the question is, should you adhere to it? Well, very simply, you shouldn't give advice in an area that you're not expert in and then charge for it, charge people money for it. So that's one thing to be aware of. If you don't have professional accreditation, and it's usual for people with professional accreditation to charge for the advice that you're seeking to give, and so you then shouldn't charge for it. You need those professional accreditations, most likely. But also, the reality is that stay in your lane is a term that really does get abused quite a lot. And especially with things like Twitter. I mean, with everyone on Twitter, if everyone's giving their Twitter views, and Twitter is a free-for-all, if people want to give their views on different things, they should be able to. On the understanding it's people's advice, it's their commentary, it's their stream of consciousness. That's what it is. So it looks like in the modern context, when the comment stay in your lane is being used as a put-down, as a cheap put-down to try and shut people up. And that's not a good thing, because in the law, there's standards of professional courtesy, and judges' decisions are almost always open to appeal, right, on different grounds. So even highly trained judges are subject to the appellate system, right? Their decisions can be appealed, and more than once, often. So if lawyers and judges have to put up with the scrutiny and the appellate system, then ordinary professionals in other areas definitely need to be subject to scrutiny and question, and they can't just say, stay in your lane. Well, they can try to, but the reality is that scrutiny and re-examination is fair and it's reasonable, and we should do it. And too often, the whole concept of staying in your lane is simply used when you're either confused and don't understand, or you're trying to shut down an argument quickly. So in some ways, if someone says stay in your lane, they need to be careful, because people will simply think that they're trying a cheap shutdown tactic. And being perceived as using cheap shutdown tactics is just a quick way to being written off as being wrong. So I certainly wouldn't advise people using sticking in your lane as a comment. If people want to draw that inference, let them draw that inference. Don't make the comment directly yourself. Let other people draw that inference from the situation. So it's best left unsaid by the person who might be able to say it. And as we know with modern science and information, empiricism and discoveries, it's probably worth listening to what people have to say as you wait for the rare insight that may come along. You may hear a lot of inaccuracy along the way. That's fine. We're all human. We expect that if we're sensible. But it's worth waiting for the rare insight, and that means not sticking to your lane, whatever that is, because the whole concept of the lane is pretty imprecise to start with, but also letting other people move around a bit and see if they can turn over some gem that is useful for all of us by way of a rare insight into something. Generalism, polymath thinking, it's very, very useful. That's in some ways the whole concept of polymath thinking, learning about different areas to hopefully help you unearth the valuable rare insight in what you do. Anyway, tell me what you think. Thanks.